Well, you saw it. Andy found where the pedal was, and he kept it on it for a bit. Everything that you wanted. The Chiefs knock out the Arizona Cardinals in a game that wasn't as close as it appeared on the score. You guys asked for it. You're getting a little bit of chiefdom from me. Don't bang on it lasting that long, but I wanted to hit you guys up. We're going to get into all the details, our notes, our takeaways, and just have a little bit of a celebration here as we get through everything that I have the wrong background. Because that's what I'm celebrating. We just finished the Locked On show. So I'm going to try to switch that here as we get through, and maybe we can change that, because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the butt most of the time. And really, it's not going to let me. So, Dan, at this point, as I'm trying to tread water here and make the change, now we're back.
We got it.
Folks, it started this way. This is it. This is game number one, and I'm not even going to do the intro tonight because I've already hosted things up. But I just wanted to get back to that point because there's a lot here. There's a lot going on with it. I have a ton of notes, Stan. I want to start with you. Number one takeaway for me was that Mahomes, being the divided up and conquer guy, works like gangbusters. Any problems with it?
Oh, that's exactly what we talked about, man. Just you got to go back to it. And I know that he talked about it in the game, but a couple of days before, like, they went through with it. It wasn't just, okay, we're just going to target, Travis Kelce a bunch and he's going to get 15 plus targets because he's our best player. Juju got 6. They divvied it up everywhere. McCole got in on the action. Clyde got in on it. I was happy to see everyone really do a good job of making the most of their touches. For the most part, I think they did a good job of offensively being in the right mindset. And I'm going to tell you guys one interesting little fact. 26. You guys remember back when I did the 13 personnel video, when I predicted that this was going to happen. 26, 12 or more personnel packages. That's 12 and 13. That's 3 and 2 tight ends. That's how many snaps they ran this today. It happened. Andy Reid is pulling it out and saying, I got everybody. I don't need all the receivers. I can have 3 tight ends on the field because guess what? I am the best play caller. I'm just so happy that I'm right about this.
The greatest. I am the greatest. Okay. Well, you got to trust that. Ton of notes. Couple of takeaways. It looks like Trey Smith, it's an ankle. We don't know the severity yet. No. I should have an update for you guys later tonight, and we'll definitely discuss it tomorrow on the Q&A show. If you don't know the Q&A show, if you're just finding us, welcome. This is the breakdown. We do Q&A on Monday night at 6 Central. All your questions online. We answer them as we go through. Johnny, thank you. I appreciate that. It isn't broken. I usually get it to about like this by the time I'm done. But right now, we're doing the Cali thing. It's going to be all right. But a lot to go on. The injuries are troublesome. Butker, I think, was probably the surprise of the day. Not that he went out and Justin Reed actually was able to get it done for an extra point. I don't care that he missed the second one. He was doing the team a service just by being able to do it. For me, the one-step 54-yarder is like, that's what's unbelievable.
It's nuts. He's got some absolute stones to go out there and say, I'm going to kick this 54-yarder on one foot. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it just goes right down the uprights. Like, that's super crazy. People hate the missed extra points, but there is a reason that Harrison Butker is among the best kickers in the NFL. It's not because he makes extra points. It's because he can do that.
Extra points is not what he's here for. But it did come in handy. I thought at the end of the day, distributing the ball, being able to make those points. I was not surprised that Juju was the leading target guy until later in the game when it kind of evened out to Kels. Were you surprised at that?
I don't necessarily think so. I do think that there was some aimed attention. Like they wanted to show everybody, look, I know that Juju maybe was in a bad offense with a bad quarterback, and he wasn't the player that he maybe was when he was destroying defenses in 2016, 2017. But we can find a way to get him. He's 25 years old. Like, this is not an old guy that just lost all of his athletic ability. I still think that he's not going to do a bunch against man coverage. But the Chiefs today did a great job of matching up their offensive schemes. When the Cardinals went zone, they said, fine, we'll do some rub routes. Or sorry, when they went man, they said, we'll do some rub routes and some mesh concept. We'll get guys open. They went back to that zone. They said, fine, Juju, hey, stop in the zone. They did a really good job of mixing that up. So I think that it was a good job of them showcasing that, look, Juju Smith-Schuster can still do this. You have to pay attention to him. Next week, hey, maybe it's going to be Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Guess what, guys? This is going to be what Patrick Mahomes talked about. Every week is going to be someone different highlighted.
Yeah, and it's going to be distributed. And I thought they did a really good job early of getting it to the running backs. We're going to talk about Clyde here in a second because I know you guys are a little pumped about it. I know Dan's very pumped about it.
It's one game.
It is. It is. You got to take that. But before we get there, I got to tell you guys, the wait is officially over in DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated and most active in Kansas. Their sportsbook is now there for you just in time for this game or this football season or whatever's happening tonight. You can get into it. Support the folks that support us. Our newest sponsor is DraftKings, their sportsbook. And right now, to celebrate, they're giving Kansas customers a can't-miss offer, $5. All you have to do is just bet once, and you get $200 in free bets back for that. Doesn't matter whether it's the Thursday night game or tonight or a early game on any given Sunday. I love saying any given Sunday. That's why I wanted to do it. Or this one. This is not a prime time. Chiefs will be on in just a few days, so you can get in the action then. You get up to 7, you win. That's all that matters. Thursday night for everyone, an early win promotion helps you get more. All you got to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use the promo code RGR. You can see it down here. You get $200 in free bets instantly when you place one $5 bet. It's that simple. That code again is RGR, and it helps us through our newest sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. If you have a gambling problem, get your help as best you can. Call 1-800-522-4700, 21 or plus. Physically present in Kansas. Eligibility rules, restrictions do apply. Bonuses are issued as free bets. One yearly token is issued upon opt-in and money bet lines only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/Kansas on behalf of the Boot Hill Resort and Casino. Thank you to DraftKings and for all the work that they help us do. It is rewarding, as are a lot of things. Now, you choose one thing. I thought MVS didn't have as spectacular a night, but I thought having two legit wide receivers that could take the pressure outside of Kelsey is really what they needed to have. I thought it looked great to a start. Was anything giving you any trouble about it?
Not so much. I think they did, like I said, they did a good job of adjusting what they did schematically with what the Cardinals were trying to do. Now, obviously, they had some injuries to deal with. I mean, it was no surprise that, at least to me, that the Chiefs put up a number on them. Their defense did not play very well. They were outmatched. The offensive line looked pretty good. They started to get some push early in the game. And, yeah, switching up, MVS had some nice spots. I don't necessarily say he was a great, route runner. He had some trouble separating every now and then, which is to be expected. But I think, everyone was probably hoping Sky Moore would get a little bit more run in this game. But this is Andy Reid, guys. He had one catch, one target, 30 yards. Like, that's exactly what you want from the rookie. Given your opportunity, you do what you got to do. So I liked what they did, taking the wide receivers and just having the game plan to adjust and have it fit as they go. It was a really good job.
I really think the drive of the game that stood out to me the most is the fact that Trey went out, Allegretti's in. It's the beginning of the second half, and you're moving down. And Sky gets that really nice catch and run. Really impressed there. And then they go for the throat, and they get Jody in the end zone. That was the turning of the tide for me. Obviously, I'm excited that they came out and ran the ball early. But by doing that and putting that pressure on people, now they have to prepare for that. I think Jody looked as good as he's ever looked in making the adjustment on that ball. And the bigger thing for me was that Patrick trusted him to do it, and he just kind of laid it out there and let him go get it. That's what we've been asking about for like 3 years, right?
Exactly. Like, there was a couple plays that I wasn't so happy about, like just throwing it up in single coverage. I'm like, okay, like on a second down, I got no problems. On a third and short, probably not the best thing to do, but when you're 30 of 39 for like 360 yards and 5 touchdowns, I'll give you one, Pat. I'll give you one.
Yeah, you gotta take it when you get it, especially if you think there's a penalty coming. A lot of takeaways here. I changed my notes tonight this year, folks. I'm going drive by drive.
There you go.
So I have some more stuff. I have plenty of takeaways. Dan and I will both look at some film this week. You guys will have plenty from us. Don't worry. Gary's going to have the stats on Tuesday. We're doing the Q&A tomorrow night. Don't miss any of that. If you're not subbed, hit that like for me, and then get subbed and hit the bell so you get in on it. A lot of questions, folks. Tomorrow night is the Q&A. We're going to get to that. We have a few super chats we will definitely address tonight, and I appreciate you guys in working through that. I want to shout out some of the defensive players because a lot of rookies played. Karlaftis got in early while he wasn't a quote-unquote starter. Leo got in there in the base. He was playing that overhang, did a pretty good job. Didn't get a ton of snaps that I saw, but got in there early. So that tells me that, A, they didn't bring up Elijah Lee to replace Leo. He was there to play special teams and be depth. That makes great sense. And I think that the whole rookie class responded as a unit in just playing the snaps that they were given. The fact that McDuffie pulls a hamstring, like, which is my number one concern leaving this. Like, I think Trey's going to be all right, but it is McDuffie that I'm concerned about. The fact that Jalen comes in and played well right off the bat. Yes, he lost on that touchdown pass. That's Marquise Brown, folks. He can run away for just about anybody in the league. So, like, I'm not going to hold that against Jalen Watson. I thought he held up well and just added to the depth of the rookie class in this game.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people thought, including myself, when we was drafted, that Joshua Williams would be the first guy off the bench. But as we went through preseason and the training camp, I told you that I think Justin Watson has earned it. And he clearly has. He's overtaken that spot. And again, he didn't look, I keep saying this, he didn't look out of the place. He looked like he belonged on the field with the rest of those guys. And yeah, like you said, he's never going to be able to keep up, like running across the field with guys like Marquise Brown. Like, that's not his job. Okay. That's not why they drafted him. They drafted him because he's a very good positional player who looks comfortable in man and zone right now. And that's why he's earning these spots. So the rookies themselves played well. I think they did a good job of manufacturing some pressure on Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray did a good job of doing it himself as well, because that's just what he does. And I think that overall, you can feel very comfortable about these guys getting more comfortable as the season goes along in the defense when they looked fast. They looked like they were trying, again, to make plays, which is what this defense has been lacking. So I loved it.
Speed kills. And at the end of the day, this defense is faster, and that lets them play better. It isn't a mistake that L'Jarius Sneed was the leading tackler until about halfway through the fourth quarter. Kudos to Nick Bolton for coming on when they decided to run the ball a little bit. But Sneed looked good. I felt like he was in position. He is the rock that the rest of those rookies are going to form around. I feel really good about that coming out of this game. And he's in my notes left and right, and not necessarily making the play, but allowing the play to be made, right?
Exactly. L'Jarius was all over the place. He's going to face a lot of the slot defenders that are more quick than he is. And that's just kind of how it is. But when you're in good position and you're making plays, that PBU was great. Adjusting to the football in the air when it comes down on Dortch to find a way to knock that loose. Hi, Avery. And, I think that he's going to be able to really continue to have a very heavy impact on the way this defense plays. I think that's really what it comes down to. And then him, another guy I had in my notes, Juan Thornhill.
So close.
Is back. He was comfortable. He looked confident. He looked fast. That is the player that we saw in his rookie season. Okay.
I'm totally agreeing with you. Now that the star of the show is here, folks, we'll shift gears. We'll bring up some of our other notes as we answer your super chats. Super chats will always get an answer on this show. Not a problem. I'll try to get some of the other ones tonight. But remember, the Q&A for all of your questions is tomorrow night. This is really our first look, our gut reaction to everything. We'll break it down here the next few days as well with multiple other takes at it, including the film. So don't miss that. It is a full service channel here at our Miss Holly, thank you for the support.
Thank you, Holly.
Appreciate you. Would you run through the injuries and your knowledge of the game, and love the outcome, but the number of injuries worries me, especially on the short week. You're absolutely right. It's a chest injury for Watson. He was the last one to go out. As I understand, it doesn't look terribly serious. He could miss a week or two. Let's see what the strain actually comes. If it inflames the shoulder joint, that becomes more of a problem. We'll have to find out here probably tomorrow after treatment. Willie Gay Jr., it looked like it was cramps. I thought maybe he got kicked in the shin at first, but it turns out it was cramps. He went back in the game. He should be fine. So it really comes down to McDuffie, Butker, and Trey, the three that we talked about. Did I miss anything, Dan?
So I got an update from Matt Derrick. Says Andy Reid injured. He's got the recap here. Mahomes and Watson will have further tests done. It looks like they're going to wait and see on Butker, Smith, and McDuffie on Monday. So he's not getting any further testing, which, at least in my small, not very medical opinion, that he could be doing better than they originally anticipated.
Yeah, knock on wood. I will take it. And in reference to Mahomes, folks, I don't mean to leave Patrick out. He's certainly important. But the fact that he just played with that, even if it is a break on that hand, it can be dealt with in a way that doesn't affect his availability.
Correct.
So, yeah, we'll be okay there. Thank you, Miss Holly. Appreciate you. Chiefs fan, thank you. Great game by Pat and the D. Yeah, it's nice to have balance, right? What an idea. Both played well, and you get things done. Thanks, Knicks fan. Appreciate you.
What up, man?
Miss Holly had another one.
Oh, thank you,
starting
Holly.
to believe some of the pundits say the Chiefs' offense isn't going to do well without Tyreek. Thoughts?
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but even Bobby was talking some carrying some bodies on the timeline during the game.
Oh yeah,
with a couple of things that happened. So yeah, I think that there's no love lost between the Chiefs and everyone else and the fans now about Tyreek Hill's departure. And unfortunate, it now is an unfortunate departure the way that he and his agent decided to take this road. So yeah, unfortunate for him, but the Chiefs are going to be just fine.
Yeah, life after Tyreek is going to be glorious. It's all good. So I completely agree with you, and I'm just excited because I don't think they scratched the surface. Like you said, I think Sky has more to offer. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see more down the line from Hardman if they connect on either of those giant shots to Hardman. And for those of you back to the Tyreek thing who thought, oh, Tyreek's gone, there'll be no shots down the field. No, like they pulled them, they drug them out of too high that they started the game in, and it was glorious.
Man.
That's what you want.
Mahomes, a little bit. I think that he's so in practice and in the last season, just like I'm not hitting those deep shots because we're working the zones. He was a tad bit off on those deep throws because I think maybe on the first one to Hardman, he was in the wrong spot. The second one, he just beat his man. He was gone, and Patrick just missed him. So these deep shots, they're coming. They're coming.
It's on. It's going to be here. I'm looking forward to it because it doesn't matter how they get there. It's when you take them, can you hit them? And I think McCole still has to, continue to run through it.
Correct.
I'm glad you spotted that, Scott. Yes, I missed the intro. That is this is not Matt Derrick button.
Sorry.
Yeah. Matt was just with us on a Locked On. We switched over. I happen to be hosting things a little bit weird tonight. So hey.
Surprise.
Hey. I've been called a lot worse than Matt Derrick, I'll tell you that. Jeremy, thank you very much. I bet that there was a lot of spilled beer in the Tracy house when I was celebrating the run game. And it wasn't just the run game.
No,
it was the run game. It was Burton in the eye and taking it to him.
Yeah.
And if you think that I'm going to let that go, I'm sorry to tell you, folks, I'm not. Because you look at how physical that team was able to be in coming back at the Chiefs later in the game, and I didn't feel that there was much left to give. I felt like they were tapped out. Now, if JJ's in the game, maybe that's different. He is JJ Watt, for God's sake, so that makes a lot of sense. But it did its job. And when I take a look, let's see, I think I have the stats in front of me. Pacheco kind of overloaded it. Before Pacheco, it was a total of 16 runs. So
they weren't even doing it.
Yeah, it was not like by far dedication or anything. It was just that it was more downhill, it was more power, and it was more effective at the end of the day. Give me your take on Clyde as the pass catcher.
All right.
Because I almost put him on the thumbnail.
So Clyde, this is what we've been asking. I know that he did slip on that first touchdown that I missed because CBS decided they wanted to play me the garbage half overtime of that terrible game. So yes, I did get to see it. He slipped, but again, there was no one there. There was no one there. He could have fallen down, gotten back up, dropped the ball, picked it back up, and then walked into the end zone and no one would have been there. But again, this is play design, okay? Play design, Andy Reid. This the usage for Clyde is showing what they're going to do, in my opinion, in closer games. He's going to be the focus of the offense in terms of the running back position. McKinnon made great work of his usage. Pacheco looked very good in his usage as well, but I think the main takeaway right now is that we were at least onto something with them using Clyde more in the passing game. He's going to finally be split out. They're going to use him in multiple different ways, but I think that the way they started the game really shows you how they want to keep using Clyde and how they want him to get better. That 18-yard run that he had, it was great. Like that, he looked explosive. He looked better than he has in nearly 2 years. So I'm excited. We'll say that.
And here's the thing that it boils down to as well. Pacheco, 5.2 per carry. McKinnon, 5.5 per carry. Clyde, 6 per carry.
Exactly. That's efficiency.
Yeah.
That's what this run game has to be. It can't be 4.2. You need to have the efficiency, especially if you only run 16 times.
Yeah. Got to make the most of what you get. So, Chris, that's what we expect from the run game. We'll see how long that holds up. I think it is a bit dependent on the matchup, but we hope to see it more. Miss Holly, last but not least, I have to shout out Harrison Butker for the 54-yard on 1 foot, basically, breaking the Chiefs record for most 50-yard field goals. That's incredible, and you should. And there's a lot to that. And I give him credit. People are, if you saw the Locked On show, folks, Chris is concerned that he has to go on IR. I'm not. Mm-hmm. But if Butker can plant even in one step and be able enough to drive that ball, that kick in particular, I think he's going to be okay. So I'm not concerned about that long term. Hopefully he doesn't get it rolled again. But that was a freak accident. The fact that they caught that on the film was great.
Yeah.
Because that kind of supination is something that can really affect your ability to be stable when you do plant. So that's what it's going to be about, is does he have the ability to heal enough to give himself a stable kicking point? I think we're going to be okay there. But, let's see. We talked about Pacheco, and thank you again, Miss Holly. Appreciate you. We talked about Pacheco. You guys feel like they're saving Sky Moore for Thursday. I think that's a fair point, and I do think that he will be more involved Thursday. I don't know if they were saving him specifically. I just felt like they got up pretty quick, and they didn't need to go to it.
Yeah, I think one of the underrated storylines about this, how they distribute the ball, is that typically it keeps everyone fresh. Like Sky wasn't used very much. I think MVS, Hardman, they all kind of, they got their routes in, but they didn't have to do too much after the catch, which is where you see turn on. And with a quick turnaround, getting a game like this in where you're able to rest your stars at the end and get them in and out. They rotated so much, 12, 13, 21. They did a lot of work of getting everybody in and out of the game as much as they could to save them for Thursday, which I think is an extremely important part.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that. Daryl will answer yours in just a second. The big thing, if you guys didn't see my timeline because you were watching the ball game, which should happen all the time, I completely understand that. We got the NASCAR package. It was there.
Woohoo!
That was the one Dunlap flushed him out. I think it was on the Dunlap sack as well.
Yeah.
But it was there. Mike Dana was included in it, but Dunlap, Frank was. I don't know if George was out there. I'll have to go back and look at that.
I didn't see George, but maybe.
But Chris Jones is the only down lineman, and that stuff's going to work. It's going to work great because speed kills in this game. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter what position you play or how often you get to do it, speed kills. And if they use that to their advantage, they'll be in really good shape. I hope that they continue it. I think it was just a taste. Between that and Juan in the back end,
yep.
I mean, we got PBUs from Juan Thornhill, Legarius. I believe Justin Reed got one. Jalen got one. And I think McDuffie should be scored with one. I'll see if that comes out in the official stats or not. We'll find out. But that is a good day out. Denying the ball is what DBs are for. Daryl, I thought that the defense looked okay, but not a bad start. What do you guys think about? And how about Gay? I thought Gay played pretty well. He missed a couple tackles. Juan missed one or two as well. But they're there and they were in position, and their athleticism really showed out to me.
Yeah, I think the defense is going to have some brain farts. We've seen it a little bit. You saw it today a little bit. But again, they make plays with their speed and their aggressiveness. And they did a lot too. And I think that you're able to keep a quarterback like Kyler Murray at bay for a large portion of the game. That's going to continue to make your defense better because you're not always going to be challenged like that. So you can do a little bit more with your pass rush, with your blitzes and things like that. So the defense has got really good bones, I think, right now, which is the most important thing about a young group is that they're in position. They are finding ways to make plays and contribute. They got to do a little bit better job of getting the pass rush consistent. It's up and down right now, but again, that's week one. That's going to take some more time figuring out more NASCAR usage. So good bones. That's all I can say about the defense. That's really what you want, the good bones.
Yeah, exactly. It's the structure so that you can be in position to make more of those. I do want to say, too, that I don't feel like they've really reached their max, too. Like, not that they weren't trying, but it wasn't like you didn't have the desperation, like the all-out deal that I think they can bring. So, like, there's more meat on that bone. Is what I'm saying.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I'll tell you what, too. Spags must be watching, or the defensive quality coach is watching. I think that's M's kid. Because they did it. On that sack with the NASCAR, they blitzed the linebacker.
Yes, they did.
Finally.
Yeah, exactly.
And this works.
I saw a couple Nick Bolton blitzes, too. Like, they're coming.
Yeah. And I think what we're seeing is the shift in what Spags can still do that's Spags, but adapting to his personnel. That's really the bottom line so that you can get the most out of everybody. That's how it works. So I'm optimistic there that we've only scratched the surface so far. There will be a lot. Adam, good week for Ryan. KU won Mizzou. I don't vote for Mizzou to lose. If you were playing K-State and they all could win, then I'm for that. So that's not what makes it up for me. Knicks fan, how can anyone say Herbert and Allen are better than 15? I can't even believe that. Not to me. Allen's pretty dang good. But
yeah.
Joe Burrow ain't no Patrick Mahomes, though. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Found a nice little stat here. Let me just give you guys a little
talk to me, Goose.
Patrick Mahomes is one of 6 players in NFL history with at least 6 career games of 5+ passing touchdowns. He's done it in 64 career games, okay? The other 5, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, and Dan Marino. It took them 240+ total games to reach that. That is absurd. It's absurd.
Oh, Lord.
It's absurd.
Wait, 240 was the lowest?
At least 240 games.
Good Lord. I mean, that's perspective. That kind of narrows it all in. It's that's just
we're watching greatness. This is greatness. That's what we get to watch.
And undeterred greatness at that, in that, okay, you're going to take my best weapon. I'll figure out a way to still do things that win us ball games. Because in the end, I don't have to win by, what was it, 44-4 or whatever it was.
No.
It doesn't have to be that. It just has to be a W. At the end of the day, he's just got to get them W's. Done deal. I'm with it. Bandwagon, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Super happy with the ball game and wishing speedy recovers. Thank you, and thank you for the support here. Appreciate it. If you guys want to support us, you can get your Chiefs Nation stuff. Rogue Nation, Chiefs Kingdom, they kind of go together. You can get that at the store. It's down in the link. That always helps us as well. And please check out DraftKings. They're super friendly to us, our newest sponsor, and we are happy to have them on board.
Very happy.
I want to hit some of my big takeaways, Dan. I feel like I'm talking too much, though, so hit me with something.
You're fine. Go for it.
Yeah, okay. Because at the end of the day, confirmation on Mahomes being able to dish is the big deal. Wheeling and dealing is his thing. Clyde and Kelsey, a tale of two halves, right? Like, yes. Kels got a little bit, but Clyde was out there, and then Kels came back around. It's the filling in between that allows this to be so potent. And the 13 personnel in particular, we all like Jody Fortson. Like, I talked to Jody the day after he got signed in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like, that's how far back that goes. But I feel like even I overlooked Noah Gray sometimes. I thought he blocked well tonight. I thought he had that nice catch. I thought he did a lot of things well tonight to be a true number 3.
Noah Gray's improvement in the blocking has gone almost unnoticed, but there was a reason that they felt comfortable enough to keep 3 tight ends. It's because he has shown that they can trust him in blocking situations. That's why they have 26, 12 or more usage. They use tight ends a bunch in this game. They ran 66 plays. So they ran a third of their offense from 12 or 13 personnel. That is a huge turn from the norm of last year of 11 personnel for the vast majority of the offense. This shows you that they are going to be extremely comfortable changing up their game plan week to week based on the defense they're seeing, on what's working. That huge gain from Travis Kelce in the second half came out of 13 personnel.
That's what happens when you have the type of athletes they have at tight end. That you can do similar concepts to what you used to do with 4 wide receivers. You just have 3 tight ends on the field now. It's just rotating it. That's all it is, and it's beautiful to see. We talked about the rookies and PBUs. That was another one of my main 4. I just want to personally thank. Let me get down on the pulpit here for a second. Tony Romo, I love you. Thank you for pointing out my whole point about attack Isaiah Simmons, because he stopped in the first place. I mean, Tony was like inside my head when he did that. And kudos to Andy Reid for doing it, because it's not just about running at him. It's about getting him in space where he has to turn and he has to be indecisive, because that's how you make plays. I thought that was great. And the game plan tonight was nearly as close as it could have been to ours, being that they're inside the building and we're not.
Quite literally could have been, it was close to what we asked. Like my prediction was 38-21. The Chiefs ended up getting another touchdown over that. But I mean, it's right there. It's right there. They had to do exactly what we said that they should do, and they did. And my biggest takeaway, I know that Andy still did what he does after they had that 37 points, but they went down. After the Cardinals scored that touchdown, they went down and they put the game away. That are things that we haven't typically seen from an Andy Reid team, where they say at 38, but the Cardinals get another touchdown and then the 21. So it looks much closer than it was, but they went down and they put it away. They said goodnight. That's exactly what they have to do. Continue it up.
And hey, I hope I continue to be wrong, because I'm not convinced that he's going to do that every day.
I know.
Every week. You know what I mean? So like, I'm happy to under project their point totals. I was really right about on where I thought they were going to end. What did they end up with? 17? No, 21. So 21. They scored exactly what I expected them to. And 2 of those were garbage.
Yeah.
TDs. I mean, I hate to call them garbage because there's guys out there playing hard, but at the end of the day, when it's out of sight, it is what it is. But hey, I'm really happy with the way that it came out, and we will have more for you. If you guys missed our game plan video, we have our newest addition, Mark Stash and Jason Dunn. Yes, the Jason Dunn. Is doing a segment on the show every week. You had Big Chief Sean and his look at this game. Thursday, Fridays, we may be moving some content to Saturdays as well because we have stuff coming out of our ears right now, so be prepared. Yeah. We got a ton for you. We will break this game down from every angle possible as well. I did have one question that I do want to answer as well. William, thank you. Receivers yardage, Travis Kelce, 121. Juju, 79. MVS, 44. Clyde at 32. It felt like it was double that, too.
Yeah, it did.
Sky Moore with the one big catch for 30 yards. Sky had the biggest average from scrimmage tonight. McKinnon at 27. Hardman at 16. There were 10 receivers targeted. It was Justin Watson. He didn't make the catch, so only 9 receptions, but 10 guys targeted. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we expect. There's going to be a lot. Frankie, it's something, are you in agreement that the team should have just redoing the kickoffs on Thursday as a precaution?
Absolutely.
I completely agree with that. And I hope, if anything comes to it, everybody, I got a lot of questions about shouldn't Tommy be doing the extra points and stuff because it's close and Tommy should do that. Yes, he should. But then you're talking about the same thing we talk about the offensive line. When one guy gets hurt and then you switch 2 positions, now all of a sudden you're dumbing down 2 positions. The holder is really important. So I can even see maybe not field goals. I might save Butker just for field goals and let Justin take the extra points and take my chances at him missing them sometimes. But take that stress off of Butker.
I do the same thing, and maybe just go for 2 more often. I don't care. Like don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
I'm totally with you. Let's see. Just so Ryan knows what Dennis comes. Yeah. Hey, you and me both. She's the highlight of the show. We're just treading water until she shows
I know,
up,
right?
Man.
Just gotta wait for her to pop in so everyone can get there. Like, oh my gosh! Because I'm telling you what, my daughter. I know that I'm biased, but she is gorgeous, and she's gonna be a problem. She's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to my life. Homecoming dance next week for the first time for my kids. Not ready. Oh, and one more super chat. Thank you.
Whoa.
Over 500 are here and only 50 likes. Thank you, Longmorn. I appreciate that for your support. But guys, if you would hit the like right now, that would be great.
It takes 2 seconds.
If you're here 32 minutes, you listen to us ramble, especially when I put up the wrong sheet at the beginning. Hey, you like it. You might as well hit it. Kudos to everyone. I know there's a lot of content you can watch for Chiefs Kingdom right now. There's some really great creators out here. And we're all the thing that I appreciate about Chiefs Kingdom, especially here on YouTube, is we all try to get along. And for the most part, except for Chat Sports, we all do get along. And so thank you for supporting us while you support everyone else, because everybody's doing stuff to make your life better as a Chiefs fan. That's what I'm here for, too. And thank you, Daryl, again.
Thank you, Daryl.
More contact, Dan. Thanks, Daryl. We love you, too. We appreciate you guys being here. It's awesome. We're gonna get into this. I have a couple of things. I have a draft show coming that I have to do tonight. But we will get a rewatch tomorrow. Dan and I will both take a look at the film. I have a couple of plays in particular that I'll be grabbing. We're going to do some of the shorts, some of the longs. We have stats from Gary. We have Seth on Thursday. We have all stuff in between. Enjoy your week. Revel in this first win, Dan. Any parting thoughts?
What I want you guys to do, if you guys are on Twitter, even if you're not, in the comment section, hit me up with what you want to be the In Harm's Way breakdown this week, who you think it should be about, maybe a player, or maybe just say Patrick Mahomes going nuclear on the defense that was not there. I don't care what it is. I want to know you guys' opinions.
And we're going to try to do that. If you haven't seen the In Harm's Way, great stuff. We're condensing some. We're leaving some things long. We're trying to give you a mix of content that you can pick and choose. So we're happy that you're here. I'm happy that you guys are here. We got Sunday Night Football coming up. Let's go get after it. And I and Dan will both. I don't know. Will you be on tomorrow night, Dan?
I will be on tomorrow night.
Sweet.
Why wouldn't I?
Q&A tomorrow night for everybody. Tactics, of course. Mr. Testicular Tactics says, I start to sign off, throws a super chat. I cannot ignore these. Reed gives us an extra tackler. Roll with it. Hey, I'm absolutely with you.
Yeah.
Although Butker doesn't seem like he's very scared. I just don't think he gets the opportunity very often. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. Tactics, thank you. Appreciate the support, buddy. You guys have a great night. Enjoy Sunday Night Football. 6 p.m. tomorrow. Q&A for all of your questions. For anybody I didn't get to tonight, apologies, but we will answer them tomorrow. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you then.